Let's get right into it. Number 10. The myth of the three-square meal. Imagine your ancestors, the rugged, slightly too hairy hunter-gatherers of 10,000 years ago, waking up in a cave and demanding a bowl of frosted flakes and a latte before they go out to wrestle a mammoth. It didn't happen. Your body is biologically designed to survive on whenever we find a berry bush or kill a deer time, not it is exactly 12:01 p.m., so I must consume a sandwich time. The idea that you need three distinct, evenly spaced meals to keep your metabolism from throwing itself off a cliff is a social construct manufactured by the Industrial Revolution to make sure workers didn't faint on the assembly line. Your stomach doesn't have a clock. It has a chaotic energy system that thrives on metabolic flexibility. When you force-feed yourself breakfast because it's the most important meal of the day, a slogan literally invented by a cereal company to sell more corn-flavored cardboard, you're often overriding your body's natural hunger signals. Your liver is perfectly capable of keeping your blood sugar steady while you sleep and for several hours after you wake up. Forcing a bagel into your system just because the sun is up is like trying to top off a gas tank that's already 3/4 full. Eventually, the pump clicks off, and you're just spilling fuel on your shoes. We've been conditioned to fear the slightest rumble in our bellies, as if it's the herald of imminent starvation, when in reality, your digestive system would love a 5-minute break from processing that artisanal sourdough. Basically, your schedule is a lie told by Big Toaster to keep you in a perpetual state of digestion. Number 9. The calorie is not just a number. If you've ever spent 20 minutes staring at the back of a protein bar box like it's a cryptic map to El Dorado, you've been lied to. The balanced diet gospel tells you that a calorie is a calorie, and as long as the math adds up at the end of the day, you'll look like a fitness model. This is like saying a gallon of gasoline and a gallon of nitroglycerin are the same thing because they both contain energy. Your body is a complex chemical laboratory, not a simple furnace. If you eat 500 calories of broccoli, your body spends a massive amount of energy just trying to break down the fiber, while your hormones stay as calm as a monk at a spa. If you eat 500 calories of high fructose corn syrup, your pancreas panics, insulin floods your bloodstream like a riot squad, and your liver starts screaming into a pillow. The balance isn't about the number on the label, it's about the metabolic fallout. Counting calories is the biological equivalent of trying to manage your finances by only counting the number of bills in your wallet without checking if they're ones or hundreds. You're doing the math, but you're still going broke. Your body treats different molecules with varying levels of respect, and pretending a calorie from a donut is the same as a calorie from an egg is just nutritional gaslighting. In short, your body is a snob that cares way more about the quality of the guest than the size of the party. Number 8. The Great Fat Phobia. For decades, we were told that fat was the dietary equivalent of a horror movie villain. If you let it into your house, it would slowly clog your pipes and eventually get you in your sleep. This balanced approach suggested we replace butter with margarine, which is essentially one molecule away from being a plastic toy, and eat low-fat yogurt that's actually just a cup of sugar with a marketing degree. Here's the biological reality. Your brain is about 60% fat. When you cut fat out of your diet in the name of balance, you are literally starving your own command center. You're trying to run a supercomputer on an AA battery. Your hormones, those tiny messengers that tell you when to be happy, when to sleep, and when to stop being a jerk, are built from cholesterol and fats. By avoiding evil fats, you're essentially firing the construction crew that maintains your nervous system. The low-fat craze turned us into a society of hungry, irritable people with the skin texture of a lizard and the attention span of a goldfish. We were told to balance our plates with heart-healthy grains while treating an avocado like an unexploded ordnance. It turns out that fat doesn't make you fat nearly as effectively as the sugar we use to replace it. Your biology wants the grease. It craves the tallow. Without it, your cell membranes become about as sturdy as a wet paper towel. You're not being healthy. You're just depriving your brain of the lube it needs to slide through the day without a total meltdown. Number 7. The myth of the clean detox. If you see someone sipping a neon green liquid and claiming they're balancing their toxins, please walk away slowly. The balanced diet industry loves to sell you the idea that your body is a dirty chimney that needs a seasonal scrubbing with kale juice and cayenne pepper. Newsflash. You were born with a state-of-the-art, multi-million-dollar detox system called a liver and 2 kidneys. If they weren't working, you wouldn't need a juice cleanse. You'd need an organ transplant and a very expensive hospital stay. The idea that you can reset your biology by drinking swamp water for 3 days is a lie designed to exploit your guilt for eating a whole pizza on Friday night. Your body doesn't store toxins in a way that can be flushed out like a clogged drain. It processes waste every single second of every single day. When you go on a detox, you're usually just dehydrating yourself and putting your metabolism into a state of emergency. The weight you lose isn't toxic waste. It's the water your muscles were holding onto because you've stopped giving them actual fuel. You're not purifying your blood, you're just making your kidneys work overtime to figure out why all the solid food disappeared. It's a biological performance piece where the only thing being cleansed is your bank account. Your liver is already doing the job. Stop trying to help it with a liquid salad. Number 6. The essential whole grain. We've been told that a balanced diet is built on a foundation of grains, bread, pasta, cereal, the beige 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The food pyramid, which looks suspiciously like it was designed by a lobbyist for the wheat industry, suggests you should eat 6 to 11 servings of this stuff a day. If you actually did that, you'd be more bread than human by Thursday. Biologically speaking, there is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. Your body can actually manufacture the glucose it needs from proteins and fats through a process called gluconeogenesis, which is a fancy word that makes you sound smart at parties. While grains provide energy, they also come with a payload of anti-nutrients and lectins that can turn your gut lining into a sieve. We're told whole grains are a health food, which is like saying a filtered cigarette is a health food because it's better than the unfiltered version. It's still a cigarette. For most of human history, we didn't have easy access to fields of monocrop wheat. We had to work for our calories. Now, we're told a balanced life requires a massive mountain of starch at every meal. Your pancreas is tired, your blood sugar is a roller coaster, and your brain is in a constant fog because you're fueling a high-performance engine with cheap, unrefined corn. You're essentially turning your digestive tract into a brewery, and not the fun kind. Number 5, the protein cap. There's a common balanced myth that your body can only absorb 20 to 30 grams of protein at a time, and anything more just turns into expensive urine or, worse, destroys your kidneys. This is the biological equivalent of saying a sponge can only soak up a teaspoon of water, and anything else just sits on top. Your body is much smarter than that. If you eat a 16-ounce steak, your digestive system doesn't just throw up its hands after 30 grams and let the rest pass through like a high-speed train. It slows down digestion. It uses enzymes to meticulously break down those amino acids over hours, shipping them off to repair your muscles, create enzymes, and keep your hair from falling out. The idea that you need to balance your protein intake into tiny, bird-like portions throughout the day is a lie pushed by supplement companies that want you to buy 6 shakes instead of 1 good meal. Unless you already have failing kidneys, protein is not your enemy. In fact, most people are chronically under protein ed, leading to skinny fat syndrome, where you have the muscle mass of a wet noodle but the metabolic health of a sedentary sloth. Your body wants the building blocks. It doesn't care if they arrive in a single shipment or a series of small envelopes. You're essentially telling your body's construction crew to take a break because you're afraid of having too many bricks on the job site. Number 4. The fruit is always healthy fallacy. Eat your fruit, it's natural, says every well-meaning grandmother and balanced diet infographic. While fruit does have vitamins and fiber, the fruit we eat today is a biological lie. The wild apples our ancestors ate were small, bitter, and about as sweet as a potato. Modern fruit has been selectively bred to be sugar bombs, essentially nature's candy. When you drink a big glass of balanced orange juice, you're hitting your liver with a massive dose of fructose without the fiber to slow it down. Your liver processes fructose in almost the exact same way it processes alcohol, which is why we're seeing non-alcoholic fatty liver disease in children. But because it's fruit, we think it's a free pass. A balanced diet that includes 3 bananas and a giant bowl of grapes is basically a high fructose festival for your internal organs. Your body doesn't care that the sugar came from a tree instead of a factory. It just sees a flood of fuel it doesn't know what to do with. You're basically giving your metabolism a Ferrari and then wondering why it's crashing into the living room wall. Fruit is fine in moderation, but treating it like a limitless health food is how you end up with a metabolic system that's permanently on vacation. It's nature's dessert, not nature's main course. So stop acting like that mango is a multivitamin. Number 3. The eat every 2 hours scam. You've heard the advice, eat small, frequent meals to keep your metabolism revved up. This is based on the thermic effect of food, the idea that digesting food burns calories. While true, eating 6 times a day to stoke the metabolic fire is like trying to keep a campfire going by tossing a single toothpick onto it every 10 minutes. You never actually get a real fire, and you're constantly working for no reason. Biologically, every time you eat, your insulin spikes. Insulin is the storage hormone. When it's high, you cannot burn body fat. It's like a one-way valve. By eating every 2 hours to stay balanced, you are keeping your insulin elevated all day long, effectively locking your fat stores and throwing away the key. You're forcing your body to rely solely on the food you just ate, creating a cycle of hangry crashes because your body has forgotten how to tap into its own energy reserves. Your ancestors went days without food and managed to hunt mammoths. You can probably make it from lunch to dinner without a granola bar. This constant grazing turns you into a metabolic infant who needs a bottle every few hours. Your digestive system needs time to clean itself out, a process called the migrating motor complex, which only happens when you stop shoving stuff down the hatch. You're not revving your engine, you're just never letting it cool down. Number 2, the salt scare. The balanced diet gurus have spent years telling us that salt is the silent killer, the crystalline demon that's going to make your heart explode like a balloon. We're told to aim for low-sodium everything, which usually means food that tastes like cardboard dipped in sadness. Here's the catch. Salt is an essential electrolyte. Your nerves use it to send electrical signals. Your muscles use it to contract. Your brain uses it to think. When you aggressively lower your salt intake, your body panics and activates the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, which can actually increase your risk of heart issues and insulin resistance. For most people with healthy kidneys, the body is incredibly good at processing salt. The real problem isn't the salt shaker. It's the processed junk that's loaded with sodium to preserve it for 5 years. When you eat a balanced diet of low-salt, processed health foods, you're often just depriving your body of the minerals it needs to function. You're essentially trying to run a power grid with frayed wires. People who cut salt often feel dizzy, tired, and foggy, not because they're detoxing, but because their brain is literally struggling to send signals. Salt isn't the villain, it's the spark plug. Without it, you're just a very expensive, non-functioning car sitting in the driveway. Number 1, the variety myth. We are constantly told that a balanced diet requires a massive variety of different foods every single day. Eat the rainbow, they scream. While getting different nutrients is great, the biological reality is that our digestive systems actually prefer a bit of monotony. Every time you introduce a new, complex food, your gut microbiome has to shift and adjust. If you're constantly throwing 50 different ingredients at your stomach in the name of balance, you're likely ending up bloated and confused. Think about it. Does a lion feel unbalanced because it only eats zebra? Does a koala need a side of quinoa with its eucalyptus? Most successful species thrive on a relatively narrow range of nutrient-dense foods. The variety we see in the supermarket is a modern invention. We've been tricked into thinking that if we don't have a different exotic superfood every day, we'll develop scurvy by Tuesday. In reality, balance is often used as an excuse to include a little bit of everything, including the junk. Everything in moderation is a phrase used by people who want to eat cookies and call it a lifestyle choice. Your biology doesn't need a balanced amount of poison. It needs a consistent supply of high-quality fuel. The idea that you need a kaleidoscopic plate of 30 different plants to be healthy is just a way to make eating feel like a full-time job. Your gut would be much happier if you just picked a few things that actually work for you and stuck with them, instead of treating your stomach like a communal trash can for every superfood trend on TikTok. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.